Welcome to my presentation on previewing Shakespeare's play Twelfth Night. I am your host, Kristen Pummer. Please use the arrow button on the bottom right corner of your screen to navigate to the next slide. In this presentation, you will learn about the main characters in the abridged version of Twelfth Night that we will be reading in class. I will use images and references from the modernized film adaptation, She's the Man, to explain the plot. This is the home page. Here you can click on the links to navigate to various character descriptions, view 2 different modernized movie trailers, and get a synopsis of the play's ending. Although, I encourage you not to view the trailers nor the conclusion until the end of the presentation, as to not spoil the ending of the play. Please use the navigation buttons on the bottom right corner of the screen to advance to the next slide, go back a slide, or return to this home page. Meet Viola, the protagonist of our play. She and the captain have just shipwrecked upon the shores of Ilaria, and she believes that her twin brother Sebastian did not survive the wreck. The captain is very familiar with this country and tells her about the people that live here. Since this is the Elizabethan era, women don't have many rights. Viola must figure out a way to survive in this foreign country, so she and the captain devise a plan to disguise herself as a man named Cesario. As Cesario, she gets a job working as a servant for the Duke Orsino. Plot twist, she falls in love with her employer, but he thinks she's a man. This is Cesario. He looks a lot like Viola, right? That's because he really is Viola, but in men's clothing. Viola pretends to be Cesario so that she can get a job and survive in a land where she knows no one. Her job is serving the Duke Orsino. Orsino is madly in love with the Lady Olivia and sends Cesario to her with messages of his love. This pains Viola greatly because she's in love with the Duke. When Olivia meets Cesario, she falls in love with him instantly, but she has no idea that Cesario is really a woman. Notice the caption of this picture identifies Cesario as Sebastian, Viola's twin brother. That's because in the film adaptation, She's the Man, Viola pretends to be her twin brother while he is out of town. Has anyone picked up on the foreshadowing yet? Sebastian sure does look a lot like Cesario, doesn't he? That's because Sebastian is Viola's twin brother, and Viola is pretending to be Cesario. Sadly, Viola believes that Sebastian was lost at sea when the ship they were traveling on was wrecked in a storm. Little does she know he's in Ilaria, just nowhere nearby at the moment. Later on in the play, Olivia meets Sebastian, thinks that he's Cesario, and proposes marriage. Sebastian takes one look at this beautiful and obviously rich woman and accepts. Why wouldn't he? Can you imagine what kind of trouble this may cause? Remember how I said that Olivia was beautiful and rich? That's because she's of the noble class. And in Shakespeare's time, the nobility were easy to identify because of the clothes that they wore. At the beginning of the play, Olivia is mourning the recent deaths of her father and brother, and as a result of her sadness, she has vowed to swear off men for 7 years. Duke Orsino is madly in love with her and frequently sends messages of his love to her through his servant Cesario. Olivia has no interest in the Duke, but once she lays eyes on Cesario, she forgets about that vow she made. Remember that Cesario is really Viola, whose twin is Sebastian. Thinking that Sebastian is Cesario, Olivia proposes, and then they run off and get married in secret. But why would she want to keep their marriage hidden? And this is the noble Duke Orsino. He is madly in love with Olivia and uses his servant Cesario to deliver messages of his adoration to her. Remember, this is before texting, phone calls, and emails, so the quickest way to deliver a message was in person. But the Duke has been repeatedly turned down by Olivia. He thinks that someone else, especially someone that is rather feminine, like Cesario, would have more success communicating his love for him. This guy just doesn't know how to take no for an answer. Eventually, Cesario reveals her, identity as Viola, and the Duke thinks that since she served him so well as Cesario, that she will probably make a good wife. Why the sudden change of heart? The link on the left is of a movie trailer for Twelfth Night, a modernized adaptation that takes place around the 1920s and uses most of the original Shakespearean text. The link on the right is for She's the Man, a modern-day adaptation of the play where the setting, the characters' names, and some lines are consistent. We will be using clips from this film to help us make sense of the play as we read. Keep in mind that in this version, Viola disguises herself as her twin brother Sebastian while he is out of town. Cesario is not in this film, but the relationships between Viola, Duke, Sebastian, and Olivia are consistent with the play's plot. Shakespeare's comedies typically end on a happy note, with many surprises and plot twists along the way. Even though most of these characters don't end up marrying the original object of their affection, everyone still ends up happily married in the end. I know that Shakespeare's plots are very complicated and sometimes difficult to understand, so please don't hesitate to send me an email with any questions you might have along the way. You can click on my name to automatically open an email message. Thanks for watching.